Hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man. Hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man. Hey man.
Isn't it cool how the internet can bring people together?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Influencer Olympics. My name is Matt Groom. It's a pleasure to be calling all of the action for you tonight as we try to find out who is going to make it onto our podium and claim that all-important gold medal. The athletes have been training hard for this moment, qualifying for a series of grueling influencer tests. And we're going to start off with bouldering and then move on to lead and speed climbing. So you've got to be an all-rounded athlete if you stand a chance of taking that gold. And the Pink Pony Club in pink is going to be against the Beta Bandits in black. And as you can see from these pictures, the athletes psyched and excited to be here. Well, bouldering, if you don't know the rules, the athletes get 5 minutes to try and top each boulder. The start and the finish are marked with fluorescent green tape. The team with the most tops wins the bouldering event, and if there's a tie, we'll look back at the number of zones achieved. And that zone, about halfway through the climb, marked with fluorescent pink tape. And we'll have a look at the route in a second. Boulder number 1 starting down low through a tooth-like feature, purple holds, making your way onto the vertical face with nasty slope as you can see, winds its way from the bottom left back to right, finishing on the top hole, but you've got to match and show control. And it does look like a hard one. The setter's a little bit mean on this first boulder. The athletes now reading the routes. They get a period of time in order to do this, working together to try to figure out the beta through there, perhaps talking to each other in terms of which athletes are similar heights, sizes, styles. But Kimmy is going to be out first for the Beta Bandits. And here she is, some stats on her. 5'4", ape index of just 0, so that might hold her back. Balance, flexibility, and good on small holds. But of course, a weakness, big holds, power moves, and power moves on an overhanging boulder could be an issue. She is scared of swimming. Not really an issue in this, I don't think, but you never know. Maybe a DWS comp, not really her thing, but here we go. So stretching out with that left foot. Really awkward position as she scrunches up her body underneath. Tries to find a second foot. And this is this tooth-like feature that we saw on the route reading, and it just makes a very awkward start, but she's now committed to it, dropping those feet on. And very blind, as you can see, as she wraps that right leg and knee around the corner, but the left arm moving around the side. It's not a bad hold here, but there are small ones to come. And her head kind of getting in the way here as she goes back under a hold underneath. Nearly lost it there. If those feet touch the mat, it is all over for that attempt, but she managed to keep it on, hovering above the ground right now. She gets it's not even a heel, that's an Achilles tendon wrap. Never seen that before. And it is working for her at the moment, but it can't be very comfortable, not providing the best grip that she'd want from this. Left foot on now, wrapping, right hand up. Well, she's around the corner of the two, slipping once, tries to find another hold, can't get it, looks upwards. You can feel the energy draining out of her hands here as she wraps that left arm around, looks for a cast on, can't get it, palming on the wall. What is she holding on to here?
Hey Matt, hope you're doing well in the luxurious commentating booth. It's Anna here with a quick interruption. While Kimmy wrestles with this volume, let's take a peek at what these athletes are competing for. The winning team of the first ever Influencer Olympics will be receiving one of Rúngne's iconic and stylish magnetic chalk bags, designed by some of the coolest climber content creators out there like Emile Abrahamson and Josh Rundle. Bo, tell us more about the Magnus magnet.
It's magnetic.
Wow, yes. On top of this, the winning team will receive a year's supply of chalk. Yes, you heard me, a year's supply. How cool is that? Rúngne pleaded with me to make a PG ad this time, and to that I said no problem. I'll recruit Bo to help me make this ad as appropriate as possible. What could go wrong? Oh, shoot. Well, there goes that. Look at that sticky mag dust. So sticky. Delicious. You too can win a year's supply of mag dust, just like our winners. Click the link in the description below to enter, you lucky ducky. Winners will also receive 5 punch passes to Sender One. The passes are redeemable at any location, and we're just so lucky to have them on board for all of our shenanigans. Back to you, Matt.
Well, there we go. Thank you to our sponsor. Slightly strange advert, I will be honest, but you know, that's fair enough. Well, Kimmy slips back down to the mats and absolutely exhausted. She is going to go again though, but time of course ticking away on attempt 2, and a quick fall from her unsending the boulder a little bit. But what an effort as our first climber finishes things off on boulder number 1. Big smile on her face. And of course, teams encouraging her, which is great to see in this athletic environment. Remember, the athletes can't look at the other athletes so they can figure out the beater.
I'm ready.
It is an on-site competition. Well, next athlete out and about is Irina. She's 5'7", index of -1. Slabbing, stemming, and falling is her strength. And we can see her now on her bio. No hand climbing. Not going to be very useful on this climb. Overhanging, of course, needing full physicality here. She does like dogs a lot. Okay, she's underway. Out towards that right hand now. Scrunching the body up, a bit like Kimmy did. Stretching that right foot onto the tooth. And popping a foot almost immediately. But what flexibility to find that right foot again. She's going to have to start moving around this tooth, though, in a minute. Almost a stalactite hanging there on the bouldering wall. Out of balance a little bit here. She tries to work out a way of wrapping that body around the corner. Still hasn't found a hand. Time ticking away. Now makes the big swing. And what a swing that was. Wrapping that left leg onto a sloper. There are holds here available. She's not using them at the moment. No idea the friction she's finding there with that left hand. Slipping, just about catching the jug. And burning some valuable skin and energy and time, of course, with that one. But she's on the tooth, sitting on that toe box. That midsole of the foot. I think she either wants toe or heel engaged. But she is up and established. Slope is above her head now. Friction in the gym, not great. And you can see a slip immediately and looking a little bit disappointed with that first run. It was a good fight, but I think she can improve on that beater. She's checking the time and shocked. It does go quickly here. Yeah, and a big puff out of breath from her. But she's going again and a big fall down. I hope she's okay. You can see the fight in this athlete here, but she will leave and get chalked up and another slip. Oh, Irina there, finding things difficult. Throwing the hands up. She's gone. She's going to go and rest. All right, next up, Isabel, representing the Beta Bandits, sister of Anna, 5'4", +1 ape index, and her weakness is overhangs. And we know on a boulder like this is going to be a real issue. She claims she's not an influencer, but she is at the Influencer Olympics, so interesting. She's allergic to cats. Is there a cat in the boulder wall? If there is, she is in some trouble. Sneezing will cause some problems, of course. Well, she's very stretched out. What flexibility, knee by her ears there. And she's going head first onto this. I'm worried about injuries, but now slumps down. And that is a good move, actually. Wraps that left heel in again. Slightly different technique with this one. And I think finding that left heel quickly will be an advantage. She gets the left toe on now. This is good from her. She wraps the right heel around. I think I said left when I meant right earlier on. I am a professional at this, but I am occasionally a complete idiot. Right, she's sitting on the tooth for now. Slope is to come. This is a good performance from her. No issues with the overhang. Right hand on the sloper now. Finally seeing some progress on this boulder. Edging her way towards the zone. She gets a really high heel up above her head. That's amazing. Oh no, she's got timed out. I didn't even notice the clock. I think she would have made real progress there. You need to keep an eye on it. The buzzer would have gone. Obviously, she didn't hear it. Well, Bo's turn next, representing the Pink Pony Club. What a mullet this man has. His strength cracks, campfire hangs, no idea what that is, and comedy. He fancies himself as a funny man. He has got a weakness with girls with nose rings and miscellaneous tattoos, and there are a few of them hanging around. This is his first ever climbing comp, so will inexperience play its part here. He's a fighter. And a unique style, as you can see. That t-shirt cut off at the midriff level. A little bit distracting for me, to be honest, in the commentary box. But, I mean, personally, I'm enjoying the look. All right, wraps his arms around now. And he's got crack gloves on. Clearly anticipating a crack. Although he did read the boulder in advance, but it's fair enough. Right, out towards the right sloper. Different technique again. Not using those two left slopers, straight to the right, then transitioning into the left. And he's chalking up here. Has a little glance over at the time. And taking his time, resting his way through these moves, which is smart because there are some physical sequences to come here on this boulder. Chalking up, blowing that excess chalk off those fingers, and I am fascinated by the crack gloves. Right, up with the right hand, 3 fingers dragging. That is a zone, and he falls. And he's calling it a day. I thought he was in there. And he looks exhausted, but interesting stuff. All right, Andy next from Beta Bandits onto the stage in those black t-shirts. 5'10", taller. We love you, his Instagram handle. His weakness is tendinitis, though, and I feel you there, my friend. And he is colour blind. And although this wouldn't normally be an issue, we can see multiple colours, and he does slip. Yeah, the colourblind thing on a normal IFSC setting, not an issue, but he does seem to be struggling here on these big moves up to the sloper. Here goes again, big rock up, left hand sliding down once more. I hope he's brushed that hold because he's not enjoying it. That's better. Much better from Andy here as he goes left. Matches, crosses through. This is impressive stuff so far. Up towards the zone. Better than Bo. He's got 4 fingers and matches. Could we see a top here for the first time? He looks right, crimps to come. There's this nasty pinch, the thumb engaged, crosses through with the left. He's one move away, one hand on. He's got to control it, remember. 2 hands on the finishing hold, and he does. That is a top from Andy, and what a performance from him. Okay, next up, Thomas from the Pink Pony Club, greeting his fans. Thomas and Andy, best friends. Little known fact that. And he's a very tall man, 6 foot, which might struggle to scrunch his body up into that overhang. Compression is his strength and slopers, but he is inflexible. Does have a soft spot for guacamole. Who doesn't? Love a bit of guac myself. Oh, he's easily through the overhang here. Gets that left toe on. Tongue sticking out in effort and concentration. That arm bent though. He needs to lock it off. Goes again. Right hand. Thumb engaged on the sloper on that no-tech surface, remember. He's slippy if you don't get the right part of it. But this is better. Zone to come. Right foot flagging out. Hits the zone. Matches with both hands. Fingers crimping in now. Eyeing up this pinch. And this is so much better from Thomas here. Final hold. Controls it. Matches it. Another strong finishing. And this boulder starting to open up as the athletes move through it. I was concerned the route setters might have overcooked this boulder a little bit. Anna now. And honestly, she is the favourite on paper this event. And it's not just because it's her channel. I am available for bribes, of course. Look at that, doing the worm there. AP Index of +3 slabs. We know how good she is on that. But her weakness is overhangs. And she can blow spit bubbles on command. Gross, Anna. Absolutely gross. All right, here we go. On the overhangs, her weakness. Can she fight her way through this section? Trust that right arm, nice and straight here as she brings the left in, and it's a good match, but those feet dangling, and it's a cut loose. As she hangs for a moment above the mat, wraps the left. Great flexibility from her. Wiggles those feet onto the holds. Drives the toes in now and reaches up. She looks left, she looks right, she palms. This is new. Presses my shoulders in agony as I'm watching this one. But up she goes, face pressed against the wall as she finds some purchase on that sloper, and that's 2 slopers in. Anna, good work from her here. Looks up towards this blocked crimp. It's nasty, you've got to be accurate. She finds the right foot. And we can see this advanced flexibility from her as she finds the zone, makes the match on this. Hasn't chalked up, hasn't brought a chalk bag with her. Out towards the right, she's locking it off, no thumb in action. Brings the left in. No issues from Anna. This has got to be a top. Surely it is. Yeah. Boulder number 1 is done for Anna. That's points for her team. And personally, well, she'll feel good about that one. Right, Dom comes out for the Pink Pony Club. He's been part of The Climb on HBO. Very famous man. And look at those muscles as those triceps stand up. That's going to help him on this overhang. But he does suffer from bad skin, soggy skin as he describes it. You would rather be surfing rather than climbing or fishing. I'm a big fan of fishing myself. I'm not very good at relaxing, but it is nice. So Dom, creeping his way up. Looking a little bit tentative, needs to settle himself down. The nerves, of course, on an event this big will be playing a part. And he needs to keep calm, careful with that left foot. It's brilliant to see how the setters created so many different options through here. He doesn't do the heel wrap. Palming now on that second prominent feature on the wall that sticks out. Left foot on, drives himself up. That's where we see the big muscles in play here. Hits that left hand. Looking for the match, changes his mind. Cross through, matches again. Dom What a performance from him as he searches for the crimp, locks it off. You can see the thumb wrapping over. He hits the pinch. Remember, Anna just crimped that. So impressed with her finger strength from earlier on. Out towards the zone. This looks like a different boulder from Dom here. Cruising it, but he needs to match. And for the first time, really, we see him hesitate. He goes for the high heel. Will it stick? It does. Judges awarding that one. Showing control. Easy work from Dom, and he celebrates. All right, 2 tops, 2 downs. Pink Pony Club is in the lead going through there. And we have a little break here in proceedings before we move on to boulder number 2. Boulder number 2. On a more vertical surface, again, it winds its way through this route. The top on the zone clearly indicated there. So Kimmy on the left from the Beta Bandits, Pink Pony Club on the right. Irina is actually a slab specialist, and she was a bit shaken up on her first 2 attempts here because usually she is good at slab climbing, but struggled on this one. That will have unsettled her. Kimmy works those feet through, trusting the rubber on the left. That's a high point from Kimmy. She falls. She calls it a day. Irina continuing up towards the pockets. 3 fingers dragging. These are nasty holds, but it is a slabby surface, so she'll be able to take a little bit of pressure off those arms if she can get comfortable on the feet. Drops down left. Delicate stuff as she makes another match. Checks the clock. And that is a top for her. What a performance. We know how good she is at slab climbing. She struggled at first. She pulled through. What a fight. But she seems to be struggling here. What is going on? The judges have awarded it. Does she not know the rules? And yeah, you can see her discussing that. That's a bit of a surprise there. Yeah, at this level, we are expecting athletes to know the basics of climbing. Anyway, she's got the top. It doesn't matter. Moves through. Next up, Bo with that mullet. And we have Isabel as well. Still wearing those clack gloves. Well, let's get underway. Isabel on the left, Bo on the right of your screens here. Great to see split screen. The budget here really stepping up for camera production. My commentary box is a little bit lacking, I will be honest. Had to make my own coffee here, which is disappointing. Both doing well, though, as they work their way up into the first of the volumes. Hit the pockets. Thumb on the left, fingers on the right. And Isabel there, trying to find a good right foot. Bo, meanwhile, speeding through this boulder. Zones for both. Isabel up towards the final couple of sequences. Bo, big splits move there at the top of the boulder. He's going to make a fingertip match. Can he bring that right hand? And he can't at the moment. Drops down, rethinks. Oh, Isabel running out of time, but Bo gets it done. And Isabel's got to keep an eye on that clock. It's there for the athletes to see. It is visible.
Hey, man.
Okay. Next 2 athletes enter the arena, enter the stage. And at this point, as we near boulder number 2, nerves will have settled down. The athletes just doing what they should be doing. Athletes chalking their hands, of course. You've got to do that. The conditions here in the gym are tricky. Andy on the left, Thomas on the right. These 2 good friends, now deadly competitors. And Andy slow and steady with those feet. Rotates through. Thomas not looking too comfortable on that right. But there's a zone on the left here. Thomas being a little slower. Brings the right foot up into that pocket. And he's gone past the zone. I'm not sure who's going to be awarded that. The judges, well, there might be appeals, but it doesn't matter, of course, if he makes the top. He doesn't want to fall off here. Well, it is a top, thank goodness, for Thomas. And Andy as well gets it done and celebrates. Both athletes showing some style there with those climbs. No issues, although they gave me a couple of heart-in-my-mouth moments here, especially with that miss zone. All right, Anna enjoying herself out there. A little dance before she gets going. Studying this boulder. It's been a while since they read the routes. The athletes want to remind themselves all the intricacies. And there is Dom. Both of these 2 succeeding on climb number 1, but of course such a different change of styles here. So underway on their flash attempt. Flash is technically awarded more. Now Anna is the slab specialist. We've seen how good she is, both in trad climbing. She's got nerves of steel, this lady, but she pops the left foot and struggles here. Dom, meanwhile, gets a big drop knee in as he brings the left hand through into the next couple of pockets. But I'm watching Anna on the left. I was expecting her to be a little bit more confident through this section. Left hand up, palming down on that right. Dom hits the zone quickly. And he moves forward. No real issues from him. Anna with a super high heel. Maybe looking for some kind of a knee bar in there. No. Changes her mind and moves forward. She drops down. Dom, meanwhile, a very quick top and a flash for Anna. Well, again, she may be a little bit nervous. The flat slab expert struggling momentarily, but then pulling it back. Great performance from Anna. Fist bumps all round there. Well, 4 tops and 5 zones for the Beta Bandits. 6 tops and 4 zones for the Pink Pony Club. Pink Pony Club still out in the lead with work to do. Now, this is an interesting technique on boulder number 3. We're used to air climbing, not used to air crab climbing. But it does allow the athletes to get a unique perspective on this climb. And Anna doing a somersault there. I hope she doesn't perform that on the boulder itself, although we have seen crazy stuff from the setters in the past. Kimmy then, underway. Getting that knee in. That's fantastic technical climbing from her. That allows her to make the match underneath. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Kimmy. Reading that perfectly. And a toe hook. Trusting the rubber on those last sportivas. Oh, but she's low on the crimp and she comes down. She was looking super confident. Irina then gets to Kimmy's high point. Locks off that left hand. Right heel in action. Different technique, but equally strong. She falls on that match move. It is slopey, nasty, and she's calling it a day. Isabel then. Let's see if she can improve. All the athletes battling at the moment. Through the high point. Finds the heel. This is good. Slowing herself down. Just controlling the sequence and the movements as she comes out with the right hand. Big move in order to stick that. This is moving towards a high point. Makes the match. That's going to be zone. The buzzer goes off. The judges award her. Strong performance here as she hits the heel. Comes out to the sloper with that right hand. This is a hard move though. Drops it with that left. Fighting for every inch of this boulder. How are those hands still on? Crossing through. Bumping with the hands. Up towards. She's a little bit low and it comes down. Is absolutely devastated. Exhausted on the mats. Okay, Bo. Let's see what Bo can do here. Looking uncomfortable. A bit taller. It's not going to help him. Those mats very close to him. He's got some super stiff shoes as well. I'm quite surprised in his choice, and he does fall. I mean, I would stick something softer there on if I was him. Andy, underway now. We're moving quickly through this boulder right now. Again, we see toes and heels in action here. Hits the sloper. Finds that left. Trusts the crimp. Brings that right hand through. This is confident stuff from Andy as he comes into the zone nice and quickly here. And remember, this is his flash attempt as well. Most points would be awarded for this. Finds that left hand. Bumping his body. We can hear the drills in the background there from the setters who are preparing the lead competition for later on in the day. This is Isabel's high point. Can Andy do one better? Yes, he can. Hits that right hand. Strong stuff as he moves the right foot through onto the volume. Tops in sight. One hand. 2 hand and a big slap on celebration. Now, I'm not sure he actually showed control there. You have to match it and hold it for a while. Andy just hitting the hold. We've seen that appealed in the past. We'll wait, of course, for the judges to make that decision, but do expect some potential controversy after the broadcast finishes. Thomas then, underway. Strong down low here. You'll want to save energy for later on. That's where the crux of this route comes in. A big cut loose. Sometimes that can actually be more energy efficient rather than faffing around with the feet. Into the zone for Thomas. Comes out with the right hand now. This is his 3rd attempt on this boulder though, so he's taken his time to get through this. As he's still got some energy in his hands, it looked like he's struggling. You can see that left foot swing off, a telltale sign that he might be getting tired. But what a battle from Thomas. He's going to make the match, and a sigh of relief as he gets that one done. And the crowd respond. Huge crowd here in the arena as well. What an atmosphere created. Anna. Again, technical work from her. She had some beta readings problems on her first attempt. In fact, her first fall of the entire competition. No such problems on attempt number 2. She comes easily through the overhang here, quickly into the zone. Look at the speed of her as well. She's got to focus here. For the first time, we see her hesitate, bumping those hands. This is good work from her, though. Big move up, just about holds that. And now again, ramps up the speed. There's the top, locks off that left arm. One hand, Needs to match it. She's taking her time. Does get the top. Another impressive performance from Anna. And fist bumps again. The camaraderie within the teams is lovely to see as Dom gets underway. Now we're expecting him to muscle his way through this section. Now, if Dom can get this first go, he'll have no falls throughout the competition. Yanya-esque in terms of statistics. Flicking that left foot up with the right. I've got all my fingers crossed for him here. I want him to send this thing. Hits the zone. Unbelievable stuff. This man can pull it off. Surely, though, he's human. He's got to make a mistake at some point. Looks right. And for the first time in this competition, we do see him hesitate. Into that left. A big slap on the volumes. A puff of chalk. Oh, that was close. The audience know it as well. They're encouraging him on. But Dom then calms himself down. Super impressive from him. As he hits the top again. Unbelievable stuff. What an athlete. What a competitor. What a performance. MVP so far of this team. Well, let's have a look at the final scores as we move on from our bouldering event, shall we? Lead to come. Beta Bandit, 6 tops, 8 zones. And the Pink Pony Club, 8 tops and 6 zones. They're out in front at the moment. First competition all to play for. Remember, 2 more rounds to go. Lead and speed to follow. And reminder, we are at the Climbing Influencer Olympics. Now, we've got news that Dave's going to be joining us. I'm not sure he knows that we've already got underway here, but apparently he's going to do an opening ceremony moment. So, fair enough. Let's get underway then. Apologies about this. I'm just being told in my ears here that this is going on. I'm rolling with it as much as you guys watching at home.
We are gathered here today to bear witness to the inaugural Climbing Influencer Olympics. 2 teams battling in a game of wits and honor and other things. Let the games begin.
Well, emotional stuff. It's a shame he couldn't be here earlier on, but lovely to see him coming remote at us, and what a beautiful moment there. Well, sport climbing now. Now, due to logistics, we are going to be top roping. In the orange route, about 5.12 in difficulty. The setters have been working hard to make sure that all athletes' styles are covered here. One chance on this 15-metre route here. I love the blue streaks throughout the wall. Well, Kimmy will be up first, and there is Jonathan. Now, I've worked with this man in the past. Belay extraordinaire. He's one of the safest pair of hands in the business. And if I was doing this competition, I would want him on my gree-gree. So thank you, Jonathan, for joining us here today. Athletes using a figure of 8 knot. Irina and Kimmy will be going off first.
I am definitely more of a boulder, so my endurance is trash.
Irina there saying that she's more of a boulderer. Terrible endurance. Well, she's going to have to find some endurance on this route. So, on the left, Kimmy. On the right, Irina here. Slopers to start off with, and some pretty nasty crimps. You've got to trust your feet, as you can see these big orange volumes. 100 points available.
Yeah.
Different to boulder, where we get tops and zones. Here, every single hold is numbered. The higher up you get, the best your score, the bigger your score. And there's an extra 0.1 if they fall going up to the next hold. Of course, another one for the judges to work out. Irina, the boulder specialist. But Kimmy is a sport climber and trad specialist. I've climbed with Kimmy quite a few times, in fact, and I know the endurance in those arms. Very technical climber. Irina climbing fast, as we'd expect from her. Chalking up. You can see wrapping those fingers around. I think slightly over gripping on the right, but it's a great performance from her, considering we know this isn't her speciality. We zoom in on Kimmy, though. She presses her face to the wall, a private moment in this very public event as she takes a deep, deep breath. I mean, mightily impressed by the level of competition so far on display here. They may be influences, but they are influencing me to want to train harder and be better. A lot of people do influence us down for not being proper athletes, but these two certainly are super strong at all times. Kimmy finding, give myself the giggles there. Kimmy finding good feet. Reaches up left, it's a blind hold. Irina just those fingertips nearly letting go. She bumps, finding the very back of the hold where the good edge is. Oh, you can hear the try hard in her voice here. Struggling. Great belaying, as I mentioned. Finally falls. 51.1 on the right-hand side of the screen. Looks down. Absolutely pumped out of her mind there. What a performance. Kimmy, meanwhile, will continue as we flick to our full screen here. As I said before, fantastic camera work. 54.1. This is the high point. She will move through that. Taking her time, chalking up. She knows how important the next couple of holds are for her and the team, of course. Beta Bandits need a strong performance here. Bumps that left hand over, finds the right. Kind of double Gastons in the middle of this route. Gritting her teeth here as she makes another move, squeezing her way up between these volumes. Finds the left, rotates through, shake it out. There's only a quick flick. Not really trusting that left hand to hold on for too long. That's a better resting position. I wonder if she might have made a little mistake by resting down low and not finding the better position. Perhaps a bit of a finding or reading error. Could be the end here, and she is. 67 points. She'll call it a day. A strong performance from her out in front at the moment.
Power.
And yeah, she wishes she had a bit more power in the tank.
You know? I don't know how to do this one. Is it
Kimmy
like that?
and Isabel discuss the two teammates here.
I just like don't.
Tightening up that figure eight knot. And now, what? Stop. Yeah, he's got a full trad rack on from Bo and helmet. Now, helmet, fair enough. Trad rack, I'm not convinced by. He's got a giant number. I can't see what number cam that is, but it's a big blue one. Of course, bringing gear with you. I mean, just in case, we are top rope, of course. But if there is a crack light feature, he's going to be covered and well prepared for that. I think he's got a nut key there as well. Certainly got nuts. Multiple belay devices. Fascinating stuff. Now, Isabel hanging off that left arm. Big right move up. She's got less weight on her harness. And I think that might be helping her here as she quickly moves through this section, but blowing hard. And look at this from Bo, really having to trust that left hand. That's a powerful move up again. Slings around his chest as well, so he can create an anchor at the top if he needs to bring the rest of the team up, I presume. Maybe some kind of celebration planned here.
Oh man.
Isabel not enjoying this section. Our mics on the wall picking up every sound the athletes are making here. Bo perhaps regretting that extra weight as those feet skirt around on the hold. Not really finding much friction there. Looks down, it's blind for him, pressing that head against the wall as he finds that right foot finally. Oh, really struggling here. My eyes are locked to the right-hand side. Isabel kind of cruising on the left as she moves through that section. Bo in some trouble as he tries to find a resting position here. That's better. No, it's not. Reverses back down. Isabel, meanwhile, I'm watching that right arm start to slip. She can't find the next hold. Does this time. And she's looking casual. Bo, not so much here. Slightly hard to tell where the athletes are on the wall. Our usual IFSC graphics not in play at this competition. That was Irena's high point of 54.1. Isabel will match that right now. Bo searching for a non-hold. There's nothing to be had there. And I know it's blind, but again, the athletes have read these routes. They should know really where the holds are. Just snatching off that right hand to take a micro shake. I don't think it's enough to recover. Isabel, much better at resting. You see that left arm stretched out. She's pumped. It doesn't really matter. 67 on the board for Isabel. And Bo hasn't moved in a long time here. Much, much lower down on this route. Drops back down again. He's unsending this. No, you saw it coming. 48.1. A bit of a disappointment from Bo there. More of a trad expert. But he would have wanted to squeeze a few more points from this route. Isabel adjusts. That arm starting to go and you can see it coming. But 88.1. What a score from her. Thumbs up. Well, let's take a look at the scoreboard and the scores as they currently stand as the athletes greet each other. 155.1 for Beta Bandits versus 102.2 for the Pink Pony Club. Things are close, but Beta Bandits pulling out ahead at the moment. So, Andy and Thomas, once more, get underway. Andy on the left, Thomas on the right. Both boulder specialists. But of course, in this modern era of comp climbing, you have to be an all-rounder if you want to compete at this level. The Paris 2024 Games, kind of a feeder series to this event. Janja Garnbret not competing due to injury, and Toby, unfortunately, pulling out. Some rumour to say that he is a little bit scared of the athletes that we have out today in the gym. And I can understand that. The level really stepping up for these influencer games here. Andy goes left. Careful with the feet here. Thomas a little quicker. 48.1 on the score for both of these athletes. And this is fast climbing from both. It's a smart decision when you know that endurance isn't your thing, but you've got that power to pull on. Just move quickly through the moves and sequences. Now, Kimmy's high point was 67 for the Beta Bandits, and is going to be approaching that. Thomas has a look down at the feet, comes up to the slopers. We've got to be nearing the top of the wall here, surely. Into a side pull, nasty holds here. Andy approaching 88.1. He moves through that sequence, but look at this from Thomas on the right. It's a maximum 100 points from him. And he hasn't celebrated yet. I think he's so tired he can't. Maybe he hasn't realised it. And he tops out as well. Maximum points for both these athletes. They needed that for their teams.
I was just fighting the pump, dude. Oh.
And yeah, you can hear from Andy how pumped he
If I
was.
spent
He
any more time, I would be like pumped
had
out.
to battle his way through that sequence. And Thomas as well. Both athletes greet each other at the bottom. That's lovely to see, as usual. And Anna removes the mic. 255.1 versus 202.2. Beta Bandits still ahead here. Final cup of climbers to come. Climbing to glory. The ultimate influencer showdown is the tagline. I do agree with that. So Anna versus Dom. What a way to finish things off here. Anna so good on a rope, as is Dom. But Dom a little hesitant down low. Dom, when you hear his name talked about in the isolation zone, people just shake their heads and say how impressed they are with him as an all-rounder. The man never lets go, but Anna has that outdoor experience to pull on. As I said before, this lady shows no fear. I've watched her do terrifying things online. Never seen her do those terrifying things in real life, but one day maybe I'll be privileged enough to watch that. But look at this from her, smooth through the middle of the wall here. Lovely inside flag there. And we zoom in on Dom's feet, rocking those La Sportivas. Lovely camera work to show just how small these holds are. It's always difficult on TV when you watch it to get an idea of just what these athletes are holding on to, the level of performance from them. Anna hits the side pull, brings that left hand through. And Dom looks a bit lost here as he comes up. I'm not sure he knows what to do, and he changed his hands there, right to left. And Anna coming towards Kimmy's high point now on a 67. Loving the blue harness, chalk bag and hair for Anna there, colour coordinated. Dom crosses into the high cycle. Little bobble with the feet as they slip down on the wall. He approaches 88.1. Brings that right foot up now, trusting the little cribs as he hits the cycle. Both athletes nearing the top. This is so exciting to watch as they both hit the top. Holds 100 for Dom. Can Anna do the same thing? Easy stuff. She's got to match it. She does. And a little kick at the top to celebrate. I've seen Toby Roberts himself perform a similar move, and Adam Ondra.
Nice.
So Anna
Thanks.
in good company with her celebrations there as she
That was pretty
returns to the ground.
Good climb. Yeah.
Good climb.
No issues really for both athletes. They would have wanted to have been tested a little bit more.
It all comes down to speed climbing.
Speed climbing then in a minute, but let's look at the scores. 355.1 versus 302.2. Pink Pony Club slipping behind a little bit. 2 disciplines done, 1 to go. The fastest of the 3, and you know how much I love speed climbing. So, if you don't know about speed climbing, very simple. You start at the bottom, you climb to the top in the quickest time you can. The world record holders, Sam Watson and Alexander Miroslav, missing this competition as well. So we could see world records here. If you're unsure of the rules, well, simple really. Straight race. The athletes competing against each other. Whoever loses is knocked out. The winner progresses until The final two athletes will fight it out for a gold medal. So all to play for. Points on the line, and things are tight at the moment in terms of the overall, as one team looks to get that gold medal. There are going to be some interesting matchups here.
Your mark.
So Anna versus Irina here. Athletes, one foot on the timing pad, one on the wall, two hands. Irina just checking the rules again. And that is a human beep, not often seen at this level of competition. Some like it though. Okay, Anna motoring ahead here, finding her rhythm as she hits the middle section of the wall. Irina slightly behind here, a little bit of a slip. But she's doing some big moves. She needs to catch up. She is behind at this moment, kicking those feet, trying to find some drive with those legs. Anna, what a performance from her though. It's not going to be a world record time, but it is going to be toast. One big dyno, and she stops the clock at a 26.4.
I'm still going.
Irina screaming as she makes her way up. Both athletes fairly new to this discipline, but of course have been working hard in training camps to prepare themselves for this moment. Dyno to come. Can she get through this? Hits the right hand. Well, she's lost the race. And at 43 seconds, 45 now, it is behind.
Oh, so sick.
Not the race she would have wanted, but a good performance from her. Nevertheless, something to build on for the future. Isabel versus Thomas here. The beeps go. I think the timing between beeps was a bit different there. It's hard for the athletes in order to get an explosive start. Now, what is going on? Isabel on different holds. Now, I know that there is multiple routes available here, but I am surprised she's made that mistake. And it's cost her dearly down low. Thomas will go ahead. He's slowed down a little bit. He'll know that Isabel is behind. But Isabel now finds some pace here. She gets back on track. Works her way towards the left of the hold. But Thomas should surely take this. He approaches the final few holds. But he's breathing hard. Keep going, Thomas. He's questioning which direction now. What is going on in this race? It's all complete drama. As Isabel approaches Thomas, it's only a half a body length. Thomas finds the top on a 39. Isabel, 41.3.
I got confused.
That's hard. I know.
I got so confused.
I
Why do they
know.
have all these holds out?
So confusing.
So it'll be Anna versus Thomas in that round. As we switch our attention to the right-hand side of the table here, Bo versus Andy will be our first race. And I have had a little moment between the rounds to talk to Bo about that. And apparently he claims that the trad gear causes momentum swing. And he thinks that will help him in the speed round. He thinks by creating that swing, it's going to drive him further up the wall. I've never heard of that technique personally. Maybe Albert from Team USA will have something to say about that.
Wait, is this guy on? Yes. Yes. Yes.
And again,
Yeah, it's
the
just
athletes
another
just
distance,
checking the
so-
beater, making sure of it. Both athletes with 2 feet on the timing pads. Interesting there. We don't often see that. Usually it's 1 foot on the wall, 1 foot on the pad.
I am speed.
And I am speed is being yelled from Bo. However, his actual performance
am
isn't
speed.
necessarily reflecting that. And you can see the swing. I get what he's saying with that trad gear, but I'm just not sure it's helping him here. Andy, meanwhile, look at this. Absolutely miles out in front. Powering through. It's got to be Andy. Surely, oh, that was nearly a fall, though. If he falls, it's all over. He's still saying I am speed, but speed is not his today. He's going to lose this race, surely. Andy approaching the top of the wall here. Goes right. Big jump up at the feet. One last move to go. Stops the timing pad, 39.6. It's not the best time we've seen today, but he has won the race. And Bo is chalking up. Again, not something we often see.
I am speed. Come on, Bo.
Athletes usually
Let's go, Bo.
will chalk up once at the bottom.
I'm speed. You are speed.
And Bo, well, he needs to find some speed. We're a minute on the clock here. One of the slowest time we've ever seen, actually, in international competitions. But regardless, it's good to see that try hard from him. Never give up. And he's still going. He's got a heel hook in. I've never seen anything like it. Rocks up a heel. Unbelievable technique and beater here. Well, I don't care if it was 1 minute 23. I enjoyed every second of that run from Bo. What a competitor. But he will say goodbye to us
I'm speed.
for now. One last I am speed as he returns to the ground. Fist bumps, but that was slow. Okay, Kimmy versus Dom. The beeps go. Both athletes. Not the best of starts here. They'll need to find a little bit of momentum. Dom making sure of those handholds. He now starts to build a bit of momentum, skipping between holds. And Kimmy has paused here. It looks like she's having some route reading errors as well. Big move out. She goes left, holding onto the bottom of that hold into a pinch. Hits the crimp. And a long way behind here as Dom makes his way towards the top of the wall. He is going to progress into the next round. It's not been the closest race. But once again, Dom shows us what he's made of. 34.8. That is in touch with some of the faster times we've seen here today in the 30s.
Thanks, guys.
But I wonder what Kimmy can do with this. The crowd getting behind her here as she keeps going, driving those feet onto the crimps as she comes out towards the big balls of the speed holds. The route hasn't changed. It was set way back in the 90s for a test event, and the route setter himself didn't expect the route to stay that way, but it has done. And the athletes train so hard to shave fractions of a seconds off the time. Kimmy's still going. Over a minute though on the clock now. Little skips with those feet. Interesting techniques as we always see from Kimmy.
I'm good at this.
Looks left, looks right, keeps going, hits that left hand.
This is the thing that I do.
Well, you've got a feel for her. She hasn't had the run she necessarily would have wanted out of this one. Wraps that right hand through. She's still on though, no falls. Brings the left through. Kimmy with one jump to go. Can she find enough energy for this? Searches around for that left foot. Looking for a toe. Can't get it. Makes the adjustment. Finds a heel. Similar way to Bo did. Maybe she was watching some of that beat. A big rock up though. Come on, Kimmy. Can she get sub 2 here? Makes the match. Eyes up the pad. 158. She's not going to get sub 2. It's going to be over. Oh. And misses the timing pad. Well, I think the judges will time that as a 2.04. Okay, Anna versus Thomas. Andy versus Dom. They will move forward into the next round here as we approach the big finals, the gold medal on the line, of course. And what a performance. What a competition this has been so far.
Yeah.
I've got goosebumps in my arm here as I watch this. Just the pinnacle of athletic performance from these influencers. I can't wait for this event to return next year. All right, Anna versus Thomas. Both flying up here. Hit the 15-second mark. Anna ahead at the moment. Thomas coming back at her though as she nears the top of the wall. Finds that right foot on the blocked hold. Hits the little crimp. Surely it's got to be Anna's. She leaps. Yes, a 23.9. And Thomas will lose this one, but it was quick from him as well. He's going to improve, I think, on his time from before. I haven't necessarily got the information in front of me. The IFSC system has gone down currently, so I can't check the results. An absolute exhaustion from the athletes.
You were on my tail for sure.
I was.
Yeah.
And then at the end,
And yeah.
when you hit it, I was like, well.
We're listening here. The athletes talking. Okay, so Andy versus Dom. Now, Dom, wow, that's quicker than before. He was slow down low. He's found something. This is unbelievable from Dom. Wow, he's been working at this. He's clearly gone away after that first round and had a little bit of a rethink in terms of his technique and style here because Dom is smashing his way through this. Big leap. He's going to stop the time at a 17.7. Unbelievable there. Emile taking him safely back down to work. And Andy as well. Skips his way up through the holds. Big jump. Double dyno to finish things off. 28. It's slow on the night. And really, that race, I couldn't take my eyes off Dom there. Streaking his way up through the climb, despite the muscles. And he's got the kind of build similar to Riza Anipur Sheena Zandifer. So, Dom versus Anna for the finals. Dom's fastest time, 17.7. Anna's 23.9. So, Dom's on paper, but this is speed climbing. So often we see dramatic slips and falls along the way. And Dom, after that slow first round, found something in the second. So, here we go. We wait for the buzzers. Fast start from both athletes, no fast starts. Thank goodness. Dom is quicker at the beginning. We'd expect him to be. It's his to lose here, but Anna coming back at him. Dom needs to get going here, skipping around. Anna slipping behind now. Dom moving ahead. This is more of a victory lap. That was a dyno in the middle for Dom, and Dom does stop the clock at a 16.7, his fastest time of the night. And Anna as well beats her record, 20. So that's it. The Pink Pony Club wins the first ever climbing influencer Olympics. They celebrated. It's hard not to get emotional when you see scenes like this as the teams celebrate. Your hearts go out to Beta Bandits. They worked so hard to get into this position. But right now, the pink team, well, the night belongs to them. Silver medal for Beta Bandits. Well, thank you to everyone for joining us here this evening. Thank you to Rúngne for sponsoring the video. A year's supply of chalk. Unbelievable prize. You can win. The link in the description below. And thank you to Sender One as well for hosting such an amazing event. My name has been Matt Groom. It's been a pleasure calling all the action for you today. Join me for IFSC, UIAA and other events throughout the world. We will return for more influencer climbing action very soon. Good night, everyone.